Fox Sports.
We are Black We are San Diego.
He hit his 14th last night, 6 home runs in the month of August. No Padre rookie has ever hit 7 in a single month in the history of the team. And this guy seems to hit all the time. Andrew McCutchen, superstar, both with the bat and with the glove. A big 2-run triple last night. Key in the Pirates' 8-1 victory as we welcome you to downtown San Diego. It's a businessman special. Late afternoon action. Final game of this 3-game series at Petco Park between the first place Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Diego Padres. And good afternoon, everyone, with Mark Sweeney, Dick Enberg. Pleased that you're with us. Let's see. Collegiately, it's fight on for Old SC against UCLA. Fight. A Pac-10 special today.
I'm glad you did that, but it is. It's a great matchup. Ian Kennedy coming off his fourth start and understanding, too, he has to attack it. You can see the uniform right there of the Trojans, but it is huge. And there's Garrett Cole in his UCLA Bruins outfit. But great matchup today, power fastball. But for Ian Kennedy, it's all about his 3-pitch mix, his fastball command, his changeup, and also his breaking ball. Look for his secondary stuff to be the key today.
Well, he was very impressive his first 2 games, but gave up 3 home runs in their loss to the Mets in his last start. Garrett Cole, he was not only a first-round pick, he was the first player selected a couple of years ago.
Well, he has a fastball that reaches triple digits. He relies on his fastball, proud of that, but also has a breaking ball. Also, the changeup is almost like a lot of guys' fastball. It goes around 90 miles an hour.
And Clint Hurdle, what a luxury to be able to put that Andrew McCutchen in the middle of your lineup every day.
Yeah, this 2-time All-Star is a dynamic player on both sides of the ball. And you see last night, out of his 146 hits, 52 extra base hits, 32 doubles, 3 triples, 17 home runs, and he's driving in 71 runs on the year. But dynamic, he can do it on the other side with his glove. He is a Gold Glover with a lot of talent that's getting better and better every day.
Well, you saw that statistic. He leads all National Leaguers in total bases by a bunch with his great bat work in the last 2 years. Well, Pittsburgh Pirates selected this man number 1. He played second base, but now he's part of the San Diego Padres. There he is, Rick Renteria, a San Diego Padre now and one of the great coaches in Major League Baseball. A former Pirates number 1 draft pick. Laura McKeeman with Renteria when we come back.
Game 3 between the Padres and the Pirates is on the way. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura McKeeman, joined by Rick Renteria. And Rick, a draft pick of the Pirates, spent a short amount of time there. Talk about your time with that organization. What memories do you have?
Oh, they're great. It was a great organization. You know, I was drafted by them originally in 1980. Spent my minor league years there. Got a call up in '86, so spent a month of September with the big club before getting traded. But it was a great experience. Obviously, your first club is always a special club because they're the ones that are giving you your opportunity. And I really appreciated it, and to this day still have some fond memories of the organization. And, you know, always pull for them. Obviously not when they're playing against us, but still pull for them.
Let's take a short little trip down memory lane and take a look at this photo of you. What's that caterpillar doing on your lip?
I used to wear a mustache for quite a while, and finally got rid of it, I think, after I stopped playing. It was an interesting time. I think everybody wore mustaches at the time, and it was just something that happened because when I first signed, the minor league director at the time said that I wasn't going to be able to scare anybody with my face. So he says, you know, you need to grow a mustache if you can, and I did, and I kept it throughout my career.
Hey, well, your face isn't that scary, I have to tell you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I appreciate that.
All right, well, thanks so much, Ricky, and stay tuned because first pitch is just around the corner. It's USC against UCLA. Which one will come out on top? We've got Padres baseball on the way. Dick Enberg, Mark Sweeney have the call.
Ian Kennedy. And Kennedy and the Padres have taken the field. We're set to go. Final game of this three-game series. The Pirates winning the first two and have extended their lead in the National League Central to 2 games ahead of St. Louis. As we look at Bud, first of all, the Pirates lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Felix P.A. will lead it off. He's just been called up to start today. Neil Walker, then the tough guys, Andrew McCutchen, and the National League co-home run leader, Pedro Alvarez. Russell Martin hits 5th. Garrett Jones in right field 6th. Gabby Sanchez at first base hit 7th. We see Clint Varmus for the first time in the starting lineup. He'll bat 8th in front of Jarrett Cole, the young 22-year-old from UCLA. PA, 28-year-old from the Dominican Republic, will lead it off, and Kennedy's first pitch of the game on its way. Ball 1. PA has played with the Cubs mostly. It came up initially with them and Baltimore. Free agent pickup by the Pirates. Just called up from the minors, Indianapolis. And he rips one up the middle. Ranging is Forsythe, and he doesn't get him. PA into the dirt pool and able to beat the throw. Good effort by Forsythe to range far behind the bag onto the second base side, but just couldn't get the speedy outfielder.
Well, this ball ricochets off the mound. A nice job, like you said, Dick, about Logan Forsythe. Watch him go to his left. Ricochets off the mound, and he makes a nice play gloving it. Not a big fan of sliding head first into first base, but trying to give a little bit of impression to his new manager, Clint Hurdle.
Yeah, PA with a dirt pie there. But that gets the Pirates off on a fast foot as they have taken the early lead in the first 2 games of this series, scoring in the 4th inning in game 1 a couple of runs to take an early 2-0 lead and a 2-0 lead in the opening frame last night. Neil Walker responsible for that with a home run in his first at bat last evening. Home run number 8. Switch hitting second baseman. Ball 2. Mitch Muchlinski calling the balls and strikes. Lance Barrett has replaced Dana DeMuth for this game at first base with Nauert and Eddings at second and third.
There's that changeup by Ian Kennedy. It's all about his secondary stuff today. He has to locate his fastball both down in the zone and also up, but look for that changeup and breaking ball to be a little bit better today.
Pitched last Friday against the Mets, did Kennedy, and gave up 3 home runs in a 5-2 loss to the Mets. Runner goes, swung on and missed. Throw by Rivera is in time. A laser shot from the catcher Rivera to deny PA.
Well, let's take a look at Rene Rivera's footwork coming out of the chute, throwing a strike right to Logan Forsythe. Just put that tag on. Nice throw. Rene Rivera's done an outstanding job behind the plate. That's what you want from your backup catcher. Call a good game, execute the game plan, also throw runners out.
2-2, loop behind third in foul territory and just out of the reach of Headley. Not hit high enough for Chase to get to it. Well, Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for the Padres, in describing why he likes Ian Kennedy, said that his high fastball explodes. He says it may be 90 on the radar, but it comes up there as if it's 93 or 94 miles an hour.
Well, compact delivery and also a little bit of a short arm, and that can get on you from the hitter's perspective.
Shot and glove by Alonso. That would have been a 2-base hit, but DeUnder able to swallow it up with a big glove. We take a look at the rest of the Padres defense, brought to you by Aramco Mortgage. Denorfia in left, Amarista in center, Venable the right fielder, with Headley, Forsythe, Jerko, and Alonso on the infield, and Rene Rivera giving Nick Hundley a start off behind the plate, and already making his presence felt with that fine throw, denying the base stealer PA. 2 outs to Andrew McCutchen, the top Pirates hitter at .316, and he has another base knock as he finds the 5.5 hole.
Let's take a look at our scouting report of Ian Kennedy today. Knees, please. He likes to work down in the zone. He has to work down the zone with all of his pitches and also change of pace. That change-up is his strikeout pitch, also inducing some ground balls. He's a fly ball pitcher, but he can also put the ball on the ground when he works down in the zone.
And he will not benefit from the nighttime marine layer. The ball will carry another extra 10 feet in a day game. We might see some home runs. Pedro Alvarez, he's tied with Paul Goldschmidt of Arizona with 31 to lead the National League. Goldschmidt hit another grand slam yesterday. 3 grand slams for Goldschmidt, and he's the first National Leaguer to hit 100 RBI mark.
Well, when you get rid of Justin Upton for the Arizona Diamondbacks and have a guy step up like Paul Goldschmidt has, that helps make that move a lot easier to handle.
Arizona 7.5 behind the Dodgers as we begin play today. That's in there. A couple of off-speed pitches. Change up and then a curveball to Alvarez. Dodgers 7.5. Colorado 15. San Diego and San Francisco. Actually, San Francisco's 56 and 69. So Padres are half game behind the Giants. Although that's updated now. They lost today, and so dead even for the bottom spot in the National League West. Boston bombed the Giants today up north.
Yeah, it looked like an ugly one in San Francisco. 12-1 final. There's that changeup down the zone. And like you talked about, Dick, I think Darren Balsley would like him to pitch, especially with 2 strikes, and elevate out of the strike zone. Have that command with that fastball. Change the eye level, change the dynamic of the hitter, but you want to work down in the zone if you can.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Alvarez.
That curveball is leaking over the middle of the plate. That's where you want to locate it. If it's off the edge, you want to work the outer half. Take a look at this last pitch, and it leaks right over the middle of the plate. Alvarez comes off of that just a little bit. Changing speeds.
McCutchen, good lead, and he'll be able to take off down the next pitch. It's 3-2 to Alvarez.
A slide step fastball off of that breaking ball.
Russell Martin on deck. The throw out of the Steeler PA key already in this inning. There goes McCutchen, and the pitch is high, ball 4. So from 0-2, Alvarez able to work Kennedy for a walk. Third base runner of this first inning. No damage done yet, but here comes Russell Martin, the catcher.
Well, talking to Bud Black about the last start against the Mets for Ian Kennedy, it was all about those 2-out walks. He's had a 2-out walk to Alvarez right there. Now you have to execute your plan. You have to attack Russell Martin and work down in the zone.
Martin last night, an RBI double in the first inning. He scored a run in the 7th inning when the Bucks plated 5 after he had walked. Ball 1. Kennedy, the #1 pick of the Yankees in 2006. He was the 21st overall out of Southern California. And Garrett Cole, the very first player selected 2 years ago from the Bruin campus, UCLA. Swing and a miss.
Outstanding changeup.
Rivera keeping that ball close enough that there's no advance.
Let's take a look at this changeup here and the action on the pitch.
McCutchen at second, Alvarez at first. 2 outs. And here comes the 1-1. .90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's what we were talking about through Darren Balsley.
Pitch number 20 coming in this first inning, and he's been working and not with his fastball command. See if he goes to that changeup again.
In the dirt, 3-1. You saw Bud Black, and he's been twisting and turning in that Padre dugout because his pitchers are walking too many, and they're coming around to score, and his hitters are striking out too many times.
Well, that's not a good mix. Bud Black understands they're going through a lull on both sides of the plate. Sometimes very difficult, but you got to get off to a good start.
3-1. Martin ready to take a big cut, but he doesn't have a chance as that's ball 4 and the bases are now loaded. 2 walks following Andrew McCutchen's 2-out single. That brings Balsley to the mound. Garrett Jones, the batter. It's a lineup in the middle. Every player in double figures in home runs, led by Alvarez 31 and McCutchen 17, but Martin and Jones with 11 each.
The They've had a lot of opportunities in this series in the first 2 games with runners in scoring position, as you see the full of Pirates on the bases, but Ian Kennedy needs to make an adjustment. He's 1 pitch away.
McCutchen, Alvarez, and Martin aboard for Pittsburgh. 4 base runners in the inning, no score yet, and Jones with a big cut fouls it at the plate on a changeup.
I think Darren Balsley probably went out and reminded him, hey, whatever you can do to throw and locate at this point to get out of the inning. Might not even been a mechanical visit. It might be just a mentality of go after him and attack him.
Strike 2.
Yeah, I like that. Located fastball with movement out on the outer edge. Very difficult to square up. Watch this location. Sticks the mitt on Rene Rivera.
A strike away from bailing out of this first inning. And Jones backs out. 2 strikes the count. And time again as Rivera and Kennedy having trouble with the signs.
Well, these are important visits because Rene Rivera, they have not worked together too much. Sometimes you have that chemistry that you can work with in spring training. Ian Kennedy coming over from Arizona. And those are some of the things that you're going to have to do in game. And it's all right to get on the same page and stay on that same page.
Struck him out and leave the bases loaded. The Pirates walk the plank in the first. Here come the Padres. Venable will lead it off. Brought to you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96 Farmers. And by the Experience Buick Lease. It's a new lease on luxury. Gaslamp District getting ready for activity tonight, Wednesday afternoon. Baseball here at Petco Park under blue skies in downtown San Diego. Let's take a look at the Padres starting lineup. Brought to you by Toyota. Venable will start things with Chris Denorfia hitting second, then Yonder Alonso. Rookie Chet Jerko, home run last night, the only Padre run, bats cleanup. Then Chase Headley. Alexi Amarista slotted in the 6th spot today by Bud Black, then Logan Forsythe. Rene Rivera and the pitcher Ian Kennedy.
Well, let's take a look at the scouting report from this UCLA Bruin. Garrett Cole, changeup is like most pitchers' fastball, 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
What?
You'll see occasionally. He is proud of his fastball. He likes to throw it, but also for the Padres, drive that pitch count up, try to get in their bullpen. They want to protect this young man's arm.
Kennedy's fastball. Ian Kennedy was 90. You say his changeup is 90.
Well, that's a get me over 93 just to get loose. This young man can throw up to a triple digits. He's touched 101 this year.
Just 22 years of age. And Venable skies that one into the crowd off to the left.
It's like so many times we hear people pitching 101. Well, he sits right around 96. There's so many times you talk about the young kids in the game and they pitch at 95. Well, that's what they can get to. They can reach back. That gives them that extra edge.
And then he takes a curveball and snaps that in at 80 miles an hour. 1-2 to Venable. Club leader in home runs, Venable, with 17. Whoa, backs him out of there. 95.
Well, again, like we talked about the last two nights, the Pittsburgh Pirates want to make sure early in the game they will pitch in, and they'll pitch in all day long with their fastball.
Ground ball right side. Easy chance for Walker. One away. A look at the Pirates defense behind Cole, brought to you by Hyundai. PA in left, McCutcheon in center, and Jones, the right fielder. Alvarez and Sanchez, Gabby Sanchez at the corners. Barmas and Walker up the middle, and Russell Martin behind the plate, handling the pitches of Garrett Cole. He's 6'4" and 240 pounds. Born in Newport Beach. Went to high school in Orange County and then on to UCLA. His coach is here today, John Savage, the Bruins head coach. National champions were the UCLA Bruins this year. Denorfia, a solid 275 with 9 home runs.
I saw Coach Savage from UCLA talking to Dave Roberts, the first base coach. He also went to UCLA. Savage, 9 years at UCLA program, has done an outstanding job.
Two hopper to the shortstop Barmas, and Denorfia's gone. Couple quick ground ball outs for Cole as we go to today's Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The last time a starter from USC faced a starter from UCLA was 13 years ago. Jim Parquet of the White Sox and UCLA faced Seth Etherton of the Angels. USC man, neither pitcher got the win.
I think it's safe to say this matchup today is a little more important than that last matchup, but this young man for the Pittsburgh Pirates, number 12 from the Baseball America, coming into this season for prospect list.
Well, Trevor Bauer, his teammate with the Bruins 2 years ago, got all the publicity. He also was a #1 pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks, but Cole was the very first player selected by these Pittsburgh Pirates. Didn't take him long to get to the big leagues. Just 1 year in the minors last year.
Well, what a professional scout's dream to have two guys that they can go and watch on the weekend and get to kind of critique all the way through. What a program, and credit UCLA Bruins for having two outstanding talents.
Curveball, and Alonso swings through that one, and it's 1-2. With all of his high octane stuff, however, he's not as dominating a strikeout pitcher yet as, say, the veteran we saw last night, A.J. Burnett. Fouled back.
Well, I think that's the frustration right there. He probably is learning. Started 4-0, but the foul balls, a lot of people don't fear fastball at the big league level as they do in the minor leagues. So you have to work on your secondary pitch, and sometimes they don't develop that in the minor leagues.
Sharply hit, and Walker can't get it. Skids out into right center field, and Alonso has the Padres' first hit.
Now, just to further that, Dick, it's all about developing, and if you're powering your fastball by a lot of minor league hitters, you don't have to throw your breaking ball too much, and they eliminate that as much as possible. Let's take a look at Yonder Alonso's swing and hitting it hard up the middle. That's what they're going to have to do. Pull the breaking ball, as you see right here, out of the hands of Garrett Cole. Nice swing by Yonder.
Stays down through the swing as you've been coaching us all season long. Jerko slams that one into the right field corner. Is it fair? It is foul. Close to a 2-run homer as Jerko goes to opposite field. It's something here in the history of the Padres. Jerko trying to do something no one has accomplished before. Another look at that ball that would not have gone in the seats. That high fence in the corner would have held it back. But a home run last night was his 6th here in the month of August, and he's got 8 more games in August. No Padre has ever hit rookie 7 in a month.
Well, I sat with Jed Jerko this morning in the locker room. I said, "What's your approach today?" He said, "Get on the heater. Easy as that. You're going to have to hit the fastball today." He's thrown some breaking balls early in this game. Garrett Cole, high percentage of fastballs.
Francisco Liriano started things well for the Pirates on Monday night by striking out 13 Padres in 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball. Padres losing that one 3-1, and then A.J. Burnett was solid again last night. In the dirt all the way to the screen, and Alonso will move into scoring position on the wild pitch by Garrett Cole.
Let's take a look at this. Russell Martin in a tough situation to try to block that ball. Anticipating the breaking ball from the catcher's position, but that was yanked by Garrett Cole.
Burnett last night allowing only 1 run and 4 hits in 7 innings of work as he picked up his 6th win. Broken back ground ball to third, and the play has to be made at first base by Alvarez. So after 1 at Petco this afternoon, no score.
The Pirates are involved in a tough race in the NL Central with the Cardinals and the Reds. Here's Bud Black's take in our Geico quote of the game.
They're all 3 doing a nice job on the mound. That's the thing. The starting pitching is pretty strong. You look at Pittsburgh starters, you look at Cincinnati starters, you look at the Cardinal starters. Again, 3 really good teams and well balanced. You know, I think they're offensively, they all do a nice job. They play defense. It's a good group. Tough to handicap it. Again, without going, super public on this, but they're all going to be. It wouldn't surprise me if all 3 made the playoffs.
Well, Bud Black wouldn't nail down an answer, but Mark and Dick, what do you guys think between these 3 National League Central teams?
Well, Laura, I think Bud Black has a point. Starting pitching of all 3, I mean, they deserve to all be in it right now, and if it ended today, they probably would. I'd still like St. Louis because of the experience.
Oh, what a stop by Headley, deep at third, long throw, good! As Alonso's down there to dig it. What a play by the Gold Glove third baseman Chase Headley to rob Gabby Sanchez.
Well, the Gold Glover shows up today defensively. He's been going through some struggles offensively, but you can always tell Chase Headley brings his glove to the field every single day. Outstanding diving play and a great strike to Yonder Alonso. That's how you win over Ian Kennedy's heart.
Ripped by Sanchez, denied by Chase Headley. 1 out. Clint Barmas, the batter, 226. 34-year-old from Indiana State. He graduated just about the time Joe Thatcher matriculated there with the Sycamores. Ground ball by Headley, deep and short as Forsythe. Awkward throw, but they're in time for the second out.
Now, outstanding pick by Yonder Alonso.
Forsythe throwing off balance.
You can see the pick. Staying on the base. Yep, show it to him.
So helped by his defense, Ian Kennedy here in the second. Garrett Cole, he has 5 hits and 21 at bats, this rookie right-hander.
Oh, good athlete, especially in the batter's box. He can help himself. Also in bunting situations, the Padres understand he can slash too. He understands how to handle the bat. This isn't a bunting situation, so you're not going to see that.
A ball and a strike.
Well, you can see the shadows, the light standard shadows coming right around the plate. That comes into play on this time of game.
2-1.
You can see right there the light standard. Makes it difficult when it's in between the pitcher and the home plate area. It's all about picking up the rotation on the baseball.
And it will continue to grow. 3-1 now to Cole. So with 2 outs in the first inning, Kennedy walked Alvarez and Martin to load the bases, but struck out Garrett Jones. Now with 2 outs, he's fallen behind the pitcher, Garrett Cole. And he swings another ground ball. Forsythe has time to throw across. 1, 2, 3. All on ground out for Ian Kennedy in the second. Padres and the Cubs coming up next game on Friday night, 7:10. The first 25,000 fans. Well, we'll talk to you about that later.
So Yonder Alonso last night. Now Doug Eddings, the third base umpire today, moving from behind the plate to third base and having discussions after the bottom of the first. And I like this. And, you know, this is something that I think Yonder's growing up, but Doug Eddings being the umpire that has to have that conversation. It got heated last night. I thought it was handled the wrong way last night, handled the right way today. And Yonder Alonso grows up in the game, but Doug Eddings has been in the game longer than Yonder has, and I think that conversation is definitely beneficial for both sides.
And while we didn't like the fact that Eddings ripped off his mask and kind of charged at Alonso, he didn't throw him out and could have.
Yes.
And so there was pluses and minuses in that confrontation, but that's good. You know, you talk it out, and it's a human game. And when you get to August, there's a lot of emotions that have been piling up during the course of the year. Well, Chase Headley, he is maybe in the worst week or 2 weeks of his career, as he has struck out at least 2 times in each of his last 6 games, and now has a total of.
You know, Dick, looking at Chase Headley wearing sunglasses, you know, you have so many things that, you know, with the shadows that you have to worry about, and Chase Headley trying to see the ball as much as he can. And hitters will wear those sunglasses, try to take the glare out and try to keep it as much as possible. You can see the batter's eye. That's going to be a little bit sunny. Just a whole dynamic at the beginning of the game. You want to try to see the ball as much as you can.
Easy ground ball to the first baseman, Sanchez, for the out. Now here's what we were talking about earlier. The Padres and Cubs, the next game on Friday night. 25,000 of you. The first 25 will take home this reusable grocery bag presented by Jimbo's with a Hoffman 51. Headley there, Gwynn. They're all natural bags. After the game, a great fireworks show as well. So get your tickets at Padres.com. Friday night, it'll be Volquez against Edwin Jackson. Then Saturday night is cap night with the Cubs. 25,000 nice San Diego baseball caps given away. So hope to see you on the weekend as the Cubbies visit the Padres, their only trip to Petco Park this year. Amarista, 260. Had a triple last night. Logan Forsythe to follow here in the second. No score.
Oh, this has got to be a shock to the Padres with Garrett Cole throwing a lot of breaking balls early in this game. Maybe pitching backwards early in the game so he can expose them and then go after that fastball later in the game. See, he doesn't have a constant feel for that pitch. We've seen a lot of different breaks on that curveball. Throws a curveball and a slider. But as you can see, trying to work that breaking ball to get to the fastball.
Ground ball into right field. Amarista with a 1-out single. Padres' second hit off Cole. And that brings up Logan Forsythe.
Alexi Amarista getting opportunities and getting that breaking ball down. Good pitcher's pitch. Hits that ball right through the hole.
One-out single. Logan Forsythe. His average down to 213 with 5 home runs. Playing in just 51 games. Good utility man, all positions on the infield and outfield. Amarista has only 2 stolen bases. Wearing that protective glove. Head first slide. Players more and more conscious of trying to keep those fingers intact.
Another part of maturing in the game for Garrett Cole is handling the base running, and he varies his times, but he can get big with that leg kick. He wants to throw that power fastball, so that can be a benefit for the Padres runners trying to take that extra base. You can see him trying to control the running game by picking over, but it's the slide step, it's the regular leg kick, and also having that control and command as well.
Fly ball shallow center. McCutchen got a late break and he can't get it. Amarista played halfway and able to scoop to second. And McCutcheon almost made one of his spectacular defensive plays. He took a little false step on the crack of the bat, and that was the difference between a catch and the ball falling for a hit for Forsythe.
Well, I sound like beating a dead horse, but you can see McCutcheon ranging from here. But for the outfielders, it is very tough to read the ball off the bat. You see that misstep that you talked about, Dick. That's going to be making the difference. And credit Logan Forsythe, but excellent effort by McCutcheon. Watch how Amarista reads this. This is a tough read for a base runner. To get far enough, and if he's going to read it, he starts to go back, and then the ball is dropped. Comes out of his glove and goes to second base.
Good base running by Amarista. Rivera takes strike one. Fastball at 97. Rene with 6 hits and 35 at bats. Comes out at 188. Broken bat. Soft roller, first base, 2 away. Runners move up. And Kennedy with a chance to help himself. Second and third with 2 gone. He's 0 for 5 as a Padre. 5 for 47 on the season.
Oh, perfect situation to help yourself for Ian Kennedy.
Bruin on the mound and a Trojan at the plate.
A lot of people in Southern California are loving seeing this matchup.
Yeah. Always a terrific battle when these two great universities meet in any sport. A rare preseason. The coaches voting on the teams to beat in the upcoming football season. Normally USC right there at the very top. It's UCLA now that they're picking to have the championship year in the conference.
You know, it's been a long time for the Bruins football faithful to see that in the standings, but that has to be a good feeling. Just adds to that rivalry.
2 strikes on Kennedy. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Cole picks a perfect time for his first strikeout, leaving 2 men in scoring position.
On the mound, and after 2 solid outings in his first 2 starts, Kennedy struggled against the Mets, going 4 2/3 innings and giving up 5 runs. So here's the adjustments Bud Black hopes he makes today.
You know, he didn't have any feel for his secondary pitches at all. The changeup was so good in Cincinnati, and it was almost the opposite his last start. So I think he's got to get back to, feel for the curve, feel for the change. The fastball velocity was fine. He's got to get back to getting in the strike zone.
So that's the analysis. Fastball fine. All 3 of his outings, this being his 4th start with the Padres, but the other secondary pitches just, they're not there. And sometimes you leave the bullpen and warm up and you think you've got your stuff, and it just doesn't translate to the mound.
Yeah, you hear it all the time, and sometimes you have them in the bullpen, then you come on the mound and you don't have it. But from the hitter's perspective, if you're working underneath that changeup, it's a lot easier to pick it up out of the hands. And you hear Mark Grant talk about when you work underneath the changeup, it just doesn't have that movement, that location. But from the hitter's perspective, when you get underneath a changeup, your eyes light up, and that's when you make mistakes, and that's what's going to happen to Ian Kennedy when he gets underneath that changeup in the secondary stuff.
PA, 2 strikes on him, and he fouls that one away. So as a hitter, when you saw a pitcher throwing that changeup, do you pick it up right out of his hand?
Well, it all depends. We always talk about the release point, and if you work underneath the baseball, what happens is you see that hand working underneath the baseball. It's not the same as that fastball action when they try to get on top of the baseball. So you pick up things as much as you can. When you're seeing a guy well, you see it right out of his hands, and that's what they're always looking at. And if you are working underneath it, you're doing something different. That's what the hitters will react on.
1-2 to the leadoff hitter, PA.
Yeah, that scatters everybody in the dugout. Dave Roberts, the UCLA Bruin, Todd Hutchinson, the head trainer.
Hutch is not a bad athlete. He'll go out and shag flies in batting practice.
Yeah, and he likes hockey. And he actually still skates. He's on a team.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any time as a head athletic trainer. In my opinion, the worst job in baseball.
That is strike 3. PA caught looking. Second strikeout for Ian Kennedy.
I know Bud Black likes this. Fastball command and working down on the edges.
Outside target, and Rivera had to reach back across home plate, but definitely that in the strike zone. Here's Walker. He was denied on a good play by Alonso first time up. That's a strike. 91, a little extra juice on that one. Mark Loretta joins us down on the field position. That ball skips away, and Mark, it had to be painful for you in your hitting days, as good a hitter as you were, to have to, these late afternoon games, work through the shadows.
Yeah, tough shadows, Dick, for sure.
That ball rolled to second, and Jerko with an easy 4-3 on Walker. 2 quick outs in the third.
Probably the worst shadows in the big leagues, guys, is in Milwaukee. They have that roof that closes, and on the day games, the shadows come in at 2 different phases. Usually every field you just have one phase of the shadow and you kind of get through it, but Milwaukee, they have it all over the place.
Well, Mark, we saw Chase Headley using sunglasses. Did you use that at the plate?
I never used them at the plate. I always used them in the field, but I never used them plate. Just never felt comfortable. Some guys use the different lenses that make it brighter when it's darker, and I just didn't feel comfortable with lenses. Did you ever hit with them? I think you did.
I actually did, and the reason for it, I just wanted my eyes to relax and not squint, and I think that's what it does, and try to get those shadows out of play and that consistency. But you can use it defensively. I think it's used a lot more instead of those flip downs that were the old school way of using it, and guys still prefer those as well.
How many times do you see it when a fly ball goes up and it's dropped and the flip shades are not hit down or something, or the sunglasses on top of the head? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm sure that as a manager looking on is a little bit frustrating.
Andrew McCutchen, 2 quick strikes on the center fielder for the Bucks. 6 straight outs now for Kennedy.
Oh, good changeup. And the location, you can see from our Southland Fox tracks by Southland Technology, down in the zone. There's Yonder. Those are the flip downs right there. Those eyes adapt. There's the shades that we're talking about. And there's a player that has him on top of his hat. And hopefully he doesn't lose one in the sun.
It's all being stylish. Right fielder DeNorfia. Forsythe the same.
Well, what happens is you go out there and you check the sun. That's one of the first things you do. And if it doesn't affect you, yeah, you keep them on in case it changes throughout the game.
Kennedy not sure of the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But there have been 4 pitches in the sequence. Outside, says Uchlinski. Buster Posey, the National League MVP a year ago, but McCutchen, plenty of votes ahead of Yadier Molina, just behind Ryan Braun. And the count now full. McCutchen singled through the hole left side first time up. 1 of 2 hits in that first inning. Also 2 walks. But the Pirates did not score when PA was thrown out trying to steal. Change up.
Oh.
Ball 4. Pretty good pitch.
And we've seen that home plate umpire call that pitch today. Let's take a look at this last pitch. The breaking ball that stays just up. Rene Rivera tries to pull it down in the strike zone. Right on the edge, not called.
Let's see what Fox strike has it in the strike zone, not just on the edge. So instead of strike 3, McCutchen gets the walk. And here's Alvarez. He walked the first time. And again, the 2 out walks from Ian Kennedy. Ground ball sharply right at Churko at second base with a shift on. Padres deny Alvarez. We got at the bottom of the 3rd. No score.
And a Trojan opposing each other on the mound. We thought we'd ask you about it in our AT&T Twitter poll, and here's how it looks. When USC plays UCLA, who do you root for? Use the hashtags RootUSC or RootUCLA and vote on Twitter. We'll give you the results later on in the game. Guys, we asked Bud Black about this, and he said, well, his dad went to USC, so I guess he'd have to go with USC, but of course, he always stays loyal to San Diego State. We told him, sorry, that's not a choice.
Yeah, we'll go on another poll, but there's the reason why I'm going UCLA. Dave Roberts. If you're not a fan of Dave Roberts, I don't understand. You must not have a pulse, because this is the greatest human being out there. Garrett Cole, UCLA guy, and nothing against Ian Kennedy, but you can take a look at the history from UCLA. That's some
pretty good ones, huh?
Pretty good names on there,
including Jackie Robinson, Troy Gloss. He was one of the key ingredients in the 2002 World Series championship Angel team. Chris Chambliss, I remember, well, he's from Oceanside and went to UCLA, and I remember when he first came up, I think it was with the Cleveland Indians before he went to the Yankees. There is Venable driving one into the corner, and that ball caroms back to the right fielder. Venable better hurry. Here comes the throw, and not in time. A leadoff double for Will Venable. Well, the Princeton Tiger changes the conversation. Hey, it's more than just SC UCLA.
Yeah, that concentration level and his confidence keep on rising on this slider that just stays up for Will Venable. Picture perfect swing, using his lower half, and those hands drive through the baseball. That is gorgeous, and it's rifled off the Petco sign.
Low and hard. Jones had no chance to try to play it other than on the carom. Here's Denorfia, situational hitting, and look at how far off the line Gabby Sanchez is at first base. That one hammered into the second deck.
I can see the defense for the Pittsburgh Pirates and trying to get into this area right here, and you can see the middle infielders. They are very active this whole series, shifting. They have to be looking in the dugout where they want to be.
But Sanchez in an unusual position for the first baseman. He's giving Denorfia the right field corner.
Well, that's what you want to do from the first base side. If you're going to shift over and try to cover that, you shift over, but you also move in just a little bit because you still have to get to first base.
Well, that won't advance the runner, and the throw a little high now, back to third. Good running by Venable. He waited to see just the reaction of the play, 5-3 on the putout, and then took off and is able to advance anyway. That's like stealing third.
That's outstanding. Take a look at the way this is played by Alvarez. He takes a quick peek, and that's what gives Will Venable an opportunity to drive over there. Clint Barmas gets over there, the shortstop. But Chris Denorfia had to get out of the way of an off the bag throw.
Yeah, that's a condition that could create an injury. Lucky that Denorfia able to scramble out of that mess. So the infield comes in. Alonso singled through the right side his first at bat. Padres hungry to have a man deliver with a runner in scoring position. They're 0 for 4 today, 1 for 16 in the series.
Yeah, going down to Mark Loretta, and he talked in our instructional today about performing out there in these situations. What does he need to do, yonder Alonso, Mark?
I think he's going to try and drive the ball through the middle of diamond swings right here.
Fouled back, and Cole in front, 2 strikes.
As you know, Mark, it's very difficult to try and hit a fly ball when you're thinking about always line drives, hard ground balls. So I never liked going up there trying to hit a fly ball. I was just trying to use the middle of diamond, hard ground ball, get through the infield. Obviously, line drive will work, but if you elevate it, it'll be a sac fly. So,
you know, Mark, I liked what you said today in the instructional, and you spread out with 2 strikes. There's nothing wrong with that as a hitter, is there?
No question about it. I mean, right now, Yonder's got to be thinking making contact right here with 2 strikes. Nothing can happen if you don't.
That one lifted the left, slicing into foul territory, but a play. Here comes the tag. Here comes Venable. The throw to the plate. Not in time, and not fielded by Martin anyway, as the Padres take a 1-0 lead. Alonso knocking in his 43rd run of the season. Venable scoring from third.
Let's take a look at the approach, and a simple approach on a high fastball. Yonder doesn't even know where it is, but he tries to get on top of it. But Felix P.A. has to throw it over Will Venable. Tough play for both he and Russell Martin. Take a look at this angle. And it's a good throw to the plate, but tough for Russell Martin to see where that is going to hop because he has to throw it over Will Venable. Nice play by Will, staying in that lane and making it very difficult for them to read that hop.
So the Padres score first, always a good sign, and a great slide by Venable as he came straight down that line. He didn't give PA the open window to make the throw to Martin. Jed Jerko grounded to third his first time. 1 ball, 1 strike. On Jerko, who has just 1 home run off the rookie lead in the National League. Evan Gattis of Atlanta has 15. Jerko with 14. And he's already set a standard never created before by a Padre, and that is for a rookie to have 6 home runs in 2 different months of a season. He had 6 back in May. He's got 6 already in August. No one had ever done that. No other rookie in Padre history. And as we mentioned earlier, no Padre rookie has ever had 7 home runs in a month. So he's got a good shot at that. And on this swing, a fly ball shallow and left. PA is there. But the Padres get a run. A double by Venable. Sacrifice fly Alonso. It's 1-0. Fan of the game out in Petco Park. Well, let's make that fans, and lots of youngsters here with the family on a sunny Wednesday afternoon in San Diego. Kennedy working with a 1-0 lead now, top of the 4th. Russell Martin starts things for Pittsburgh. The Bucks as good as any team when they score first. They're 50, 50, and 21 when they score first. So for the Padres to get on the board initially, good sign for San Diego this afternoon, trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game set.
I wanted to ask Mark Loretta about the trade of Ian Kennedy and your impression so far with Ian Kennedy.
I think he's done a nice job, Swayze. I think, not only for this year, but for the next couple years, Kennedy gives the Padres a real workhorse, 200 inning type guy on top of the rotation.
And that's saying a lot too. You got to have innings. You got to have a guy that eats up innings. Jason Marquis was that guy that can eat up innings, especially with that sinker. And he goes down with injury, and that's why one of the reasons why I love this trade. You can see the stuff, Dick. It's there. He's got the nasty changeup. That breaking ball needs to be a little bit tightened up. I think Darren Balsley is going to do a great job with that. But Ian Kennedy, like Mark talked about, he's a workhorse. He gives out innings, and plus he's been a #1 guy in an organization that was expecting to win.
Just 2 years ago, he won 21 games, and this year off to a little bit of a rocky start in Arizona, but I think a change of scenery is going to do him wonders.
Excuse me, foul ball. Yeah, 2 years ago, he was 21-4 with a 2.88 ERA. Finished 4th in the Cy Young balloting.
Well, like anything else, I mean, if you perform at that level and you understand how to win 20 games in the big leagues, you have it on your resume, but you also have the confidence, and you also have an understanding that the team relies on you every single start. That mentality is going to go a long way with Andrew Kashner, Tyson Ross, those conversations in between starts.
That ball in and out of the shadows, and strike 3 on Russell Martin. Third strikeout for Kennedy.
Let's take a look at this Vulcan changeup, he calls it. That action downward. Starts as a fastball. A simple delivery by Ian Kennedy. It looks like a fastball out of the hands, and you're swinging at that. Gets below the barrel.
Boy, Martin was way out in front. Ground ball. Alonso stays down, and Garrett Jones is out unassisted. First baseman. As we look at the action from the center field camera today and into the dark shadows around home plate, it's almost like the catcher should have one of those miner's lights on his helmet so he can light up the home plate area for us.
Well, the concentration level for Rene Rivera and also Russell Martin has to be spiked just a little bit today.
That brings up with 2 outs Gabby Sanchez. He produced a sharp ground ball over the third base bag, and Headley made a superb play, diving on the foul line and throwing him out back in the second inning. Here we go. Put that light on the catcher's helmet. Even a candle. How about it, Renee? Stick one of those candles top of your helmet.
Anything he can do.
You look back at the old World Series films before the lights, and they played late afternoons in Yankee Stadium, Ebbets Field, and you see shots. The batter was always a silhouette.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to complain. The amenities they have these days in the game.
Don't have the lights on yet here at Petco. Probably will come in use as we move into the later innings. 2-1 to Sanchez.
Well, you're seeing a lot of awkward swings. You're seeing foul balls, and the coaching staff looking like they've seen something else.
And the other shadows from the light standards in the left field corner growing toward the mound. As you can see, they're halfway from third to the mound, so that condition might make it even tougher for the hitter.
Now Ian Kennedy's starting to get into that rhythm, and he understands where his location's going to be. That was a purpose pitch, working off the plate. Even though he gets to 3-2, now he's got in a situation where he can throw anything.
Shaking off Rivera.
See if he goes to that changeup again.
Yes. Yep. Pulled the string, and Kennedy with a couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Padres coming up with a 1-0 lead. Baseball brought to you by Sequan Casino. Real friendly, real close. By Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. And on we go. Bottom of the fourth inning here at Petco. Chase Headley, Alexi Amarista, and Logan Forsythe for the Padres. Garrett Cole has given up 3 hits. The big hit, a double by Venable leading off the last inning. He came around on a ground out and Alonso's sacrifice fly. Now, this is a new look for Headley, batting with sunglasses. Check swing foul.
Let's be honest, Dick. When things are not going your way, you'll try anything in this game. We've all been there. We've got in that batter's box, going through some tough stretches, and it's all been about the strikeouts for Chase Headley. A lot of people wondering what's wrong with Chase Headley, especially after the big second half he had last year.
Piling up all those RBIs, 115 to lead the league. He's been stuck on 35 for a long time. In fact, in the last 32 games, this is hard to believe, in the last 32 games, he has 4 RBIs.
Yeah, that's tough to take, especially when you relied on driving the ball. I think a lot of it has to do with taking fastballs just like that, but also fouling a lot of fastballs off. Who knows what goes through your mind about making mechanical adjustments. But in my opinion, Chase Headley looks like he's cheating at times on the fastball.
What do you mean by cheating?
And he doesn't have the bat speed to get there, and maybe something's wrong. And, you know, maybe injury-wise, you don't feel 100%. But you can't make excuses when you're relied upon because of the second half standard that he set last year.
And another strikeout. You just see the body language, although he's not temperamental. He doesn't throw things around, but I mean, no one's hurting more than Chase Headley.
Well, you can see the fastball. It gives him problems elevated, but also that breaking ball down and in. You can see him working underneath the baseball. And when you try to cheat on a fastball, it's because you don't feel like you have that bat speed to get there. And you almost feel like you're in between. It can be mechanical, but it can also be mental. And you fight it every single day. You say, you know what, today's a new day. I'm going to come out of it. And you can see emotionally when he walks back to the dugout. It's a tough game to take with the failures and dealing with those failures.
It beats you up, and it's a game in which you can fail and be outstanding. You fail 2 times out of 3, you're hitting .333, and so you have to accept that as you go along, that there's going to be rough patches. But this has been almost a season of difficulty for Chase. Amarista singled his first time.
Well, you'd be surprised, Dick. There's insecurities you deal with in this game and what you can't do. You're always talked about what you can't do in this game and how you fail and how you have to make adjustments. And you hear those things and you try to battle them.
What did you do when you were in a slump?
Well, I mean, you try to keep it simple, and we talk about it all the time. And sometimes those mental thoughts that you have in your head keep you away from getting simple and trying to hit off that fastball. But then you get that fastball to hit and you're looking at it and you foul it off. Okay, what do I do next? And mentally, this game is so challenging when you play 162 games and the concentration level that you have to have. But you have to trust your process and what you did to work to get into this game and be prepared to battle Garrett Cole and their bullpen.
It's a relentless game. I had an old coach that said, Enberg, you're thinking too much. You hurt the team.
Yeah, well, we've all been there too. And when you feel like you hurt the team, that's a tough thing to handle. You understand that, and look at what Chase Headley did last year in the second half. He set the bar higher, and you're trying to meet those standards. That's the tough thing you have to do, but you relied on it. But you're also paid to do that as well.
And you build the expectation from the fan base. Ground ball sharply, and Walker able to glove this one and deny Amarista for the second out. Let's go down to Laura.
Well, thank you, Dick. And Bud Black talking about Logan Forsythe, saying they've been impressed by the way that he's accepted the challenge of playing all around the diamond. Shortstop, right field, left field, also third base. And, of course, that gives him more at-bats and a chance to continue to work on his swing. Remember, he was a guy that had the pair of hits against Liriano, who was definitely tough for the rest of the Padres lineup the other night. And Bud's saying he really likes the way Forsythe plays the all-around game. I know you agree, Mark Sweeney.
Line drive, base hit, center field, right on cue, Laura. Second hit, 2 for 2 is Forsythe.
I do agree, Laura, and it's a good point to be the versatility that Logan Forsythe brings. And bring in Mark Loretta about this, because he has done this, especially in the middle of the diamond, being that guy that moves around. It's a difficult thing to take, and I'm sure working with Logan Forsythe, you've had some conversations with him about that as well.
Yeah, we certainly have, Swings, and he's played some shortstop back in his college days, so I think he feels relatively comfortable there. But he's just a baseball player. He knows what to do. He's got great feet, good arm. And as you know, if you can play shortstop, if you're a utility guy who can play shortstop, you're that much more valuable.
What was the toughest position for you to transfer into?
Rivera takes.
Probably first base, actually, Swings. I ended up playing a lot of first base early in my career, and I had never played there at all at any level. So learning that at the big league level was a little bit difficult. People take for granted first base, like, you just stand over there and catch it. But there's a lot more to it than most people know.
What was your position at Northwestern?
I was a shortstop all the way up through until I got to the big leagues. So that was the first time I really moved around.
You know, Lo, they talk about also from the second base position having your back on that turn. Was that a difficult transfer for you as well?
It's a little bit of a fear factor, certainly, when the guy's coming in and you can't see him. But I actually like turning it from second better than from shortstop. The footwork is really, really. It's difficult, but it's gratifying when you make a double play from second.
Practice that high hurdle over the man trying to knock you into left center field.
They are trying to knock you down.
1 ball, 1 strike. Rivera slices that foul.
But Mark, talking about Logan Forsythe too, I mean, offensively getting at bats and getting opportunities now is going to help him as well.
No question about it. We talked about it in the open. Is that these games, the rest of the season, are going to be opportunities for guys to make their mark going forward. And Logan's going to get some opportunities to play some shortstop and see if he can handle that position and handle the bat well as well.
Swing and a miss, and Rivera goes down. Third strikeout for Cole. We've completed 4 at Petco, and the Padres lead by 1. Time the Pirates were in the playoffs, 92 National League Championship Series. They were almost to the World Series. They led 2-0 in the bottom of the 9th inning to the Atlanta Braves. Then the Braves scored 1. It was 2-1 as we go to our Coors Light freeze can. Atlanta's third string catcher, Francisco Cabrera. Runners at second and third. A single to left field. Justice comes around to score. That ties it. And here comes the slow-moving Sid Bream, and he just does get his foot on home plate before the tag by Mike Lavaliere. And the Atlanta Braves beat the Pirates 3-2 and go to the World Series. Our Coors Light freeze cam. Boy, that was a close one at home plate. That's it. It is a game of inches.
Yeah, Sid Bream was not known for his speed. Both played for the Pirates and the Braves.
Sid, Steinway, Bream carrying that around the bases. Chopper, one hopper to Headley, and one out as Barmas leading off here in the fifth. Ian Kennedy rolling along. He's allowed only one base runner since the first inning, and that was a walk to McCutchen. Only 2 hits in the game, both in the first inning, an infield hit by PA and a single by McCutchen. Pitcher Garrett Cole grounded to short his first at bat. What's interesting, Mark and Mark, is that Ian Kennedy, a fly ball pitcher in this game, has not given up a fly ball out. They're all strikeouts and groundouts. Go figure.
Well, I think you can be a fly ball pitcher, but you can also throw down in the zone, especially with that changeup, and induce some ground balls. And I think Ian Kennedy, when you win 20 games, you understand when to put guys on the ground and when not to.
8 groundouts in the game so far, induced by the offerings of Kennedy. One and two now to the opposing pitcher. Trying to locate Coach John Savage from the UCLA Bruins, the national championship coach who brought Garrett Cole and so many others into the big leagues. There have been 65 players drafted out of UCLA in just 9 years.
It's impressive. Tells you the type of talent they're bringing in.
Ooh, that ball comes up and takes the helmet right off Garrett Cole.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get that in the eye.
Wow, that could have been very dangerous.
Sometimes it ricochets off that plate, and then take a look at how this right off the plate.
Man.
And that picks up speed off the plate. And the laces of the ball can be like a razor blade. Very fortunate to hit that visor of the helmet.
Struck him out. High fastball. 5 strikeouts for Kennedy, and it's time for our Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. Most strikeouts by batters. The Atlanta Braves have struck out more than any other National League team, with the Pirates second, very close second, tied with the Mets. 1,064. Checking the Padres total this year. They have struck out coming into this game, interestingly, an even 1,000 coming into the game today, with 3 more, so 1,003 for them. PA, just foul by about 3 feet down the right field side. Infield hit and a strikeout for PA, just called up from Indianapolis. Wandy Rodriguez, the left-handed pitcher, has been advanced to the 60-day DL. And Ryan Reed, a right-handed pitcher, sent back to the AAA club in Indianapolis. PA brought up because Marte, injured hand, has not been able to play in the series.
Well, for PA, it's been battling, trying to stay in the big leagues for him, and the consistency part, almost what we call a 4A player, a guy that goes in between AAA and the big leagues.
Strike 3, and another strikeout for Kennedy. He has a half dozen. We're at the halfway mark in this one.
looking to update you on our AT&T Twitter poll results. We asked you, when USC and UCLA play, who do you vote for? And it looks like we got some Trojan fans out there by just a little bit. Root USC wins 55% to root UCLA 45%. So sorry to Dave Roberts, but happy for Ian Kennedy. He wins the Twitter poll, and his USC Trojans come out on top in this one. Maybe even the Twitter polls are competitive, guys.
Yeah, that's just votes apart undoubtedly today. Bottom of the 5th inning. Kennedy starts for the Padres, then Venable and Denorfia. 1-0 for San Diego.
Well, Dick, we talk about the mentality of this team. Wanted to ask Mark Loretta, and he's been around Bud Black a lot, and he's not an excuse type of manager. Your thoughts about how he handles the rest of the season, Mark?
Well, I was just thinking in my mind, Sweens, both you and I have played for guys who have been what they call front runners, which is they're your best friend and jovial and happy when you're doing well, but they kind of disappear and don't talk to you when you're not doing well. And I can tell you, Bud Black is not one of those guys. He is very, very consistent, very positive. I look for him to, keep grinding this season out and seeing what he's got opportunity-wise for the rest of the team.
2-2 now to Kennedy. Line drive, base hit for Ian. A victory for the Trojans over the Bruins. Leadoff man on. That's 6 hits now for the Padres against Garrett Cole.
Can you hear the fight song going right now? That's a nice swing for the USC Trojan right there.
Boy, my UCLA Bruin buddies are not going to be happy with me. I'm going to go into hiding tonight. I'll give a little.
We're not playing sides.
We're playing Padre baseball. Venable, a big swing and a miss. Third baseman Alvarez in on the grass at third. Now he's going to back away a little bit. Double by Venable into the right field corner the last time, scored the Padre run. Ground ball, could be 2. There's 1, back to first, a 6-3 double play. It takes Kennedy off the bases and 2 quick outs, and Chris Denorfia the batter.
You can see Will Venable smashes this right at Clint Barmas, and he takes it himself. Tailor-made double play on a hard hit ball.
Denorfia is grounded out twice to the left side, to third and to short. There's another base hit lined up the middle. McCutcheon playing deep in center field, over to get it, and he's got a solid arm, and Denorfia won't test it.
I wanted to go down near the dugout with Mark Loretta. I wanted to come up with a comment and your thoughts about how Chris Denorfia handled the situation the other night. A big error, and he stood up after the game, and he felt very disappointed in his teammates. In your impression, how he handled that situation, Mark?
Well, yeah, it would have been very easy for him to go in the training room or go hide somewhere, but he stood up there and said, hey, I don't have any excuses for that. And, the ball may have snaked on him a little bit, but he didn't mention that. And the rest of the team respects that, and they know that he plays extremely hard every day, and that he's not going to make many of those errors during the course of the year, and he's bounced back and had a couple good games since then.
Mark, I talked to Chris Denorfia today about that situation, and the greatest example that I had, and you had a teammate too, of Trevor Hoffman standing up in front of his locker and dealing with that. That was a great example.
No question about it. You and I have both seen guys who just run from that, but if you stand up and are accountable, that's it. End of story. It's over.
Speaking of Trevor Hoffman, it was on this date, August 21st, 2 years ago. The Padres honored Trevor, retiring his number. That was such a terrific ceremony.
It was. Very well deserved. Anyone that's ever been around Trevor Hoffman understands it was about everybody else. And when you have a day like that, and the organization did a tremendous job at that ceremony.
And what a payoff to have his late father going back and finding his father singing the national anthem back in Chicago. Oh, that was terrific. 1-2 to Alonso, has a single and knocked in the run with a sacrifice fly. Runner goes. A pitch out, and it's not in time. Even on a pitch out, Denorfia swipes his 8th bag of the year. Either a pitch out or that was made to order fastball high and away for the catcher Martin.
Well, timing is everything. That big leg kick, and Chris Denorfia picks the right pitch. Nice hit for a slide on the backside of the base. It looked like a pitch out, almost that fastball that got away from him. And you got to take some chances, especially with 2 outs. Nice job by Chris Denorfia.
In the dirt, 3-2 to Alonso. A chance to pick up another run here and add to the 1-0 lead. Pirates' 3rd most stolen bases against them, and since the 2010 season, the Red Sox, Angels, and Pittsburgh. And of course, Martin not part of that statistic until this year as he came to Pittsburgh. Very key acquisition for them in their success. Line drive, base hit to left field. Denorfia around third. PA up with the ball. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. It's 2-0. On to second goes Alonso as he delivers again.
Well, an outstanding approach by Yonder Alonso, and as Chris Denorfia gets the high fives all around. Just takes this fastball that's inside and drives it the other way. Watch Chris Denorfia. He reads the catcher and slides inside and with his right hand touches the plate. Outstanding job adjusting and athletic by Chris Denorfia.
And look at Jed Jerko there helping him. And he's got to do that almost the way a third base coach would tell the runner to slide wide or slide inside the bag.
Yeah, the home plate umpire almost took it in the chops. Getting in there a little close. Good positioning.
Jerko hits that down the right field side. Room for Jones in the corner to make the catch. Now the Padres add a run on 3 hits. Leave a man. And after 5 at Petco, San Diego 2, Pittsburgh 0. No runs, 2 hits. The 2 hits came in the first inning, and Ian Kennedy has had a strikeout pitch using the changeup.
Yeah, Dick, he's using the changeup and to very good effectiveness, and he calls it a Vulcan changeup, which he throws it this way. But what I was talking about, when you throw it from your release point, just like your fastball, you right here, and you have that changeup grip, and you throw it the same way, that's what you want to do. If you work underneath it, that's what the hitters are going to pick up on, and they're going to capitalize on it because it elevates just a little bit. When they work underneath the baseball, that's what they're talking about. When they work on top, they get that same action like a fastball, and you're seeing some awkward swings by the Pittsburgh Pirates today.
Neil Walker leads off the 6th inning and takes a strike. It's 1-1, and when you elevate and tip that changeup, it's a batting practice
yes, it
fastball.
Is. They feast on that.
Walker has grounded out twice. Takes another strike. There's a changeup that catches the inside corner. Walker, McCutchen, Alvarez. 3 tough hitters here in the Pittsburgh 6th inning.
Well, after you score, you want to shut them down, get back in the dugout, build on that momentum that the Padres have built with that big hit by Yonder Alonso.
Off speed again. You saw the success that Walker's enjoyed against Kennedy. 6 for 14 and a couple of home runs.
See, after that first inning, very efficient by Ian Kennedy, getting in that rhythm.
Jammed Walker. 80 pitches now for Ian Kennedy.
Well, he's succeeded to this point because he's got them in between. You can see the Pittsburgh Pirates taking some awkward swings, but also in between. You saw that last fastball jamming Walker. Sometimes they'll sit on those off-speed pitches, and the fastball becomes more effective.
Right field, Venable coasts to the line and makes the catch.
Went a long way for that ball. Swung over to right center, and Will Venable goes a long way. You almost need 2 center fielders out there to cover that much space in the outfield.
Andrew McCutchen, a single and a walk. Had just 1 hit last night, but it was a big one. A 2-run triple in the 7th inning that took the game from 3-1 to 5-1. And he had 2 hits in the opener of the series and a walk, 2 for 3. So 4 for 9, as you can see, in the series. Top average of the Bucks, 317.
Impressive young man that you can build around. And for the Pittsburgh Pirate fans out there, they're very excited to watch him play every day.
In the dirt, 2-0. As we mentioned, he's been phenomenal since a boy. In the 8th grade, playing on the high school team and hitting over 500 against high schoolers when you're just in the 8th grade. 2-0. That's in there. 91 on the fastball. Well, this effort by Kennedy today is remindful of his great effort pitching in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then for Padre fans and seeing what he can do and how to manipulate around the lineup. Starting McCutchen off with 2 pitches way out of the strike zone and then coming back with 2 located fastballs. That's confidence.
And then the changeup is low. 3-2 with Pedro Alvarez on deck.
This is a big pitch in this matchup.
Line drive center field. Amarista has to put on the brakes and play it on 1 hop. Another hit for McCutchen. First hit since the 1st inning for Pittsburgh.
Now let's take a look at the pitch sequence to Andrew McCutchen. In the first 2 pitches, a curveball way off the plate, a changeup in the same spot. Then he locates the fastball again on the outside edge. And the changeup that was taken by McCutchen, and credit him for that pitch because he bought himself another fastball out of the middle of the plate. Impressive at bat. And the matchup between Ian Kennedy and McCutchen.
McCutchen with 2 hits today. That's the 47th game this year he's had multiple hits. He's just 1 behind Carpenter of St. Louis for the National League lead in that statistic.
Dick, this is what I love about the game, those individual matchups that you have against a player that constantly talk highly about. In McCutchen, Ian Kennedy, a 21-game winner.
And here's a shift on, so a double play ball here will create an interesting combination up the middle because Headley is in the shortstop position and Forsythe has shifted over second base just about 10 feet to the second base side with Jerko closing the hole on the right side. So you could have a 4-5-3 double play or a 6-5-3 double play. That would be nice for
Yeah, it
Ian
would.
Kennedy.
And they have to have communication. When you shift infielders around, you have to communicate. The ball's hit to me, what you're going to do, and that's talked about before the ball is even hit. And that ball will indicate who has to cover second base, who's going to take the throws, who's going to turn the double play.
2-2 now to Alvarez. 31 home runs for the big third baseman.
You can see the shift and the reason for that shift. High percentage to the right side of the diamond.
Strike three call. Froze him with a solid fastball at 91 miles an hour.
Well, changeup success brings you to the located fastball. And that looks 95 when you're looking for the change. Outstanding pitch by Ian Kennedy.
153rd time that Alvarez has struck out. The National League leader. Russell Martin has walked and struck out. Linsky calling the pitches outside, he says.
Yeah, that had a little cut to it.
That's tops on the radar so far for Kennedy, 93.
Oh yeah, working down in the zone with that fastball. You can see the Pirates taking a lot of fastballs. That goes in the head of Rene Rivera. And how you attack these at bats, going into their third at bats of the game.
Two and one now to Russell Martin. Padres lead 2-0 here in the top of the sixth inning. 2 gone, and Andrew McCutchen at first base for the first place Pittsburgh Pirates. They're watching the scoreboard, and the Cardinals have beaten Milwaukee today 8-6. Cardinals start today 2 behind Pittsburgh in the Central Division.
Not a bad pitch to run on if you're McCutchen.
It's a slider, 2-2. There are the standings already factoring in the St. Louis win today.
That whole race is going to go down with the last week. And he pulled that changeup.
Now the count goes full. McCutchen will take off with the next delivery, so Alonso backs up and will give more defense on the right side because he doesn't have to hold the runner, McCutchen.
Well, this will be the 98th pitch of Ian Kennedy, and Bud Black starts churning. It's decision-making time.
Ground ball to third, charged by Headley, and on the run, dug out by Alonso. Oh, he's become so much better than last year. Fielding his position, saves an error there.
2-0. And time now for some positive news about Kyle Blanks. He's ramped up his activity, been running a good deal, doing some outfield drills with Dave Roberts, and the reports are all signs go for a rehab assignment in Tucson starting as early as this weekend. So great for the Padres. Of course, he'd be a nice addition back in the lineup. He's been hitting continuously throughout this injury with Phil Plantier. They've been doing a few things with his swing that they feel good about while he's had some downtime. So, of course, making the most out of a situation where Kyle wants to be on the field but doesn't have that opportunity until he can get healthy. And hey, the Padres could see him back up in the big leagues and in the lineup relatively soon, guys.
Yeah, Kyle Blanks only playing 67 games. If he plays a full season, 8 home runs in 67 games, he's a 20 home run hitter.
Yeah, he's a threat. And Kyle Blanks did a nice job at the beginning of the season. And great report, Laura. And understanding that the leg injury, it's all about the running and the quick movements with that calf injury. And I think the Achilles injury, but they can still hit. And I think that's important for Phil Plantier, Alonzo Powell, to keep working on that swing and hit the ground running when he comes off that rehab assignment, hopefully healthy.
Chase Headley starts the 6th inning with the Padres leading 2-0. And he's behind 2 strikes. He has grounded out and struck out today. Amarista and then Forsythe to follow.
And no glasses this time. That might have something to do with the shadows going all the way to the pitcher.
And the strikeout, the ball gets away from Martin. Now he's got to make an awkward throw up the line and gets him anyway. So Headley has now struck out 19 times in the last 10 games.
Russell Martin had a puzzled look, and the way he caught this baseball, he might have been crossed up a little bit. And that's interesting, being crossed up with nobody on, but goes off his leg. And being the athlete that Russell Martin is, he's falling towards his own dugout. Take a look at this. Looks like he's crossed up a little bit.
And the putout made 2-3 for the first out here in the 6th inning. Amarista has a single and a ground out to second base. Talking about the injured, excuse me, I want to be sure to wish a happy birthday to Jason Marquez, 35 today. Jason, who won 9 games before requiring Tommy John surgery. We wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jason. Text him the other day. He said he's doing very well. He's on the road to recovery.
Big swing by Amarista, 1-1. Kenny Rogers celebrating the same birth date, 8/21, August 21. And Usain Bolt, the fastest human in the world, also a birthday. He and Marquis, how do you make that match? The fastest human and Jason Marquis. Fast to the bat rack, that's for sure.
Yes, he is. Probably got a bat in his hands right now.
Line drive, base hit. Amarista, 2-hit game. Solid single up the middle.
Well, I marvel at the adjustments Alexi Amarista has made in the game. Phil Plantier loves his swing, and I love this 2-strike approach. Cutting his swing down and using the middle of the field. And get a lot of hits with that swing. Phil Plantier loves his approach. But with 2 strikes, we've seen a lot bigger swings out of Alexi Amarista. And that's short to the ball and picture perfect.
Brings up Logan Forsythe. He's 2 for 2 today. A bloop single to center and a line single to center field his last time.
Well, if Alexi keeps on making those adjustments, especially with 2 strikes, he's going to force the hand of Bud Black to insert him into a lot of the big situations and much needed at bats.
Padres now with a 9-hit attack against Garrett Cole. 2 for Amarista, 2 for Forsythe. And 2 for Alonso, including the 2 RBIs.
Well, Dick, it's all about winning and losing in this game, and especially at the big league level. But this is the time where they're evaluating moving forward. And all these players are getting opportunities, and how they handle their situations and how they handle it professionally goes a long way. both with Bud Black, the coaching staff, the front office.
Yeah, ownership is involved here too. They're making,
Yes.
they're thinking ahead. They've got the master plan, and who's going to fit into that puzzle.
It's maximizing the amount of winning baseball players you can get in a system. We've seen the adjustment Pittsburgh Pirates have made. Well, the Padres have to follow that path.
Arista with a maximum lead. He's just getting back in time.
You don't want to take away, and those players in the dugout, in the locker room that are trying to get on the field and make those impressions, they're not trying to fail. They're going out there and trying to be professional. Not to want to take away from what they're trying to do, because I've been in those situations, trying to fight for a club for following year when you're in a losing situation, and that's difficult.
That's really the test, isn't it, of the man's character, the player's character.
It is, and you have to grind it out. You have to perform individually, but you have to be a good teammate. You have to be known for this organization. Chris DeNorfie is an example. Persevering. You have to lean on Mark Loretta in his note, and also Kotze in the locker room.
And they pulled him out. Amarista looked as if he had it stolen, and quick slap tag by the second baseman Walker, and Amarista erased.
Well, tough pitch to throw on for Russell Martin. Reaches down to his left and throws a bullet to Neil Walker. He puts a tag on. Let's see where he tags it. Right on that forearm. It looked like Alexi to me was in there.
And then Forsythe lines a single sharply to left field. 3 for 3 game. 3 singles for Forsythe. That's a big throw out. Amarista gets in under that tag, and the Padres have another run. 10 hits today, all of them singles except for the double by Will Venable leading off the third. Rene Rivera with 2 outs has grounded out and struck out. Ian Kennedy would be next. Although Kennedy right around the 100 pitch mark. We'll see whether or not he'll go out for the 7th inning. He has a sharp single today. Everyone in the lineup with a single except for Jerko, Headley, and Rivera. Off the head of the bat.
Where Ian Kennedy is in the pitch count, this isn't a bad situation for Logan Forsythe to take an opportunity. Being up 2-0, it affords you to take an opportunity and a chance with 2 outs.
That's Justin Wilson, young left-hander that you were admiring the other night, Mark.
Electric stuff.
Struck him out. Padres get a couple of singles in the 6th, no score, and lead 2-0 as we advance to the 7th.
Right at Mike Pomeranz looking like a couple of displaced out-of-work game show hosts, lost on a field of green. Ian Kennedy looking very sharp. We're going to talk about that even more in the postgame show.
It sure is. Just a well-played game, I think, by all the Padres. But Ian Kennedy, very sharp with his fastball. Had a couple walks early in the game, but settled down. Look at the change-up down and away there. He's been really effective with all three of his pitches today.
Good pitching matchup right now in favor of the Padres, as I mentioned, up 2-0 here, top of the 7th inning. When we see in the postgame show, we'll talk more about all that happened on the field, including situational hitting, and you'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black. So we'll see you gentlemen after the final out.
All right, Mike and Mark will be with you. Emmy Award-winning Fox Sports San Diego Padre pre- and post-game shows. Curveball to Garrett Jones to start him off. He struck out and grounded out. Jones, Sanchez, and Barmas in the top of the 7th. Kennedy working on a 3-hitter. 2 of the hits and 2 of the walks in the first inning, but the Bucks didn't score. That'll make it into the seats down the left field side. Another curveball. In that first inning, PA led off with an infield hit. Was thrown out trying to steal, and that was the key, because then with 2 outs, McCutchen singled, Alvarez walked, and so did Martin. But Garrett Jones, the man at the plate currently, struck out, and that was the most serious threat for Pittsburgh all day. Swing and a miss. He goes down again, and that's 8 strikeouts for Kennedy.
You can see when Ian Kennedy gets in a rhythm, it almost looks like he can throw anything at any time, and this located fastball with movement off the plate is a perfect 2-strike pitch. He's got Garrett Jones tied up in knots today.
Tying a season high in strikeouts. Gabby Sanchez has struck out, and a hit taken away from him on a terrific play by Chase Headley at third. Jumps ahead with that first pitch strike, a curveball. Nick Vincent getting loose for the Padres. 102 pitches now for Ian Kennedy. Sharply hit and into right field for a base hit. Sanchez goes the opposite way and finds a hole between first and second. 4th hit for Pittsburgh, and that brings the tying run to the plate.
Well, Gabby Sanchez takes his fastball out over the plate and does a nice job going the other way. This is eerily similar to the Cincinnati Reds start, where he was dominant with a 2-run lead. Had a home run break his heart.
Yeah, Xavier Paul came off the bench, a pinch hit home run in the 8th inning to tie it at 2. That was the marathon extra inning game that went 13, and Cincinnati prevailed 3-2. Padres leaving 7 men at third base in that game. Maybe the most frustrating loss of the season for Bud Black.
Well, this is the time when Bud Black goes over and maybe a double switch situation if they have to make a move. But that game is in Bud Black's mind in Cincinnati.
Swing and a miss by Barmas. It's 1-1, and on deck is Josh Harrison, and it was Harrison last night who came off the bench with the bases loaded and tripled in 3 runs. That hadn't been done by a Pittsburgh player in 21 years. A pinch hit triple to knock in 3. Fly ball sliced to right down the right field line, could be trouble, and foul. Running all the way was Sanchez halfway to third.
There's so many decisions you have to make as a manager, and so difficult when you don't have a new pitcher on the mound and you haven't seen him work. You work on the body language. Sometimes you'll have discussions if you go out there and ask him how he feels. But my estimation, Ian Kennedy shows that he still has location, and he's spotting his secondary pitches along with that fastball.
A ball, 2 strikes. Off the fist to short. There's one. Back to first base. Not in time. And even had the throw been accurate by second baseman Jerko, it looked as if Barmas was going to beat it out. The ball wasn't hit that hard, so he's safe on the fielder's choice. And here comes the pinch hitter Harrison.
Let's watch the exchange. I don't think Jed Jerko gets a good handle of this ball. And yes, but Barmas gets down the line, but I don't think he had a good grip on that baseball. Heck, we always talk about the chemistry between the shortstop and second baseman.
meeting at the mound, and a discussion as to how they're going to work to Harrison, who last night with that 3-run triple.
This might be buying some time for Bud Black to make a decision. Does he go to Vincent, or does he stay with Ian Kennedy?
It's a tough one, isn't it? 107 pitches. Is Kennedy running low on fuel? He has in a couple of his starts, as he experienced in Cincinnati in the 8th, and then his initial game with the Padres against the Yankees in the 6th inning. Harrison called up from Indianapolis, and he lines a shot at second. A one-hopper to Jerko. He'll take it to the bag himself for the out. And Kennedy pitches out of the 7th inning. It's a 2-0 game.
Inning, and Rick Renteria was actually a first-round draft pick by the Pirates back in 1980. He played his minor league days there until 86, and then got a chance with the big club. But while he was doing this, he grew a little facial hair, and I'm going to take a look at this photo because this is just awesome. I asked him about the little extra fuzz he has on his upper lip here, and he said that they told him his face wasn't scary enough, so he needed to grow a mustache to try to intimidate people. What do you think, Sweeney?
Yeah, I actually asked him in the coach's room today. I said, hey, that was a sweet stash you had there. And Glenn Hoffman was in there. He said, we all had them. That was the fashion statement, the style. Did you have a mustache, Dick? Ever rock the mustache?
I tried to grow one, but I just don't have a lot of facial hair.
Well, Rick Renteria, an outstanding bench coach, but he can rock the stash. He looks mean there.
Yeah. Lord called it a caterpillar in the pregame show.
I like that. I like that reference.
Justin Wilson comes in to work. Bottom of the 7th inning, 2-0, and Jesus Guzman will pinch hit for Kennedy. So Kennedy goes 7 shutout innings. 4 hit pitching by the right-hander from Southern California.
Again, you talk about that trade for Ian Kennedy for Joe Thatcher and a minor leaguer.
Off first base, a long run for Gabby Sanchez, but he can't get there.
I think it was going to turn out to be an outstanding trade for the San Diego Padres. Look at that effort. He had some defense behind him today, but got into a real good rhythm with a changeup. Yeah, why not smile? He had a nice outing today. I think Bud Black and Darren Balsley have to be very, very encouraged with this outing today.
So our fan poll had USC 55-45. There's a line shot into the left field corner, and Guzman rattles the fence in left and is on his way for a stand-up double. Greeting Justin Wilson rudely.
Well, the second leadoff double of the day for the San Diego Padres, and this is a nice swing by Jesus Guzman. Watch him get that foot down, throw the knob of the bat through the baseball and keeping that fair. That is beautiful. Good sound to that baseball.
Well, the Padres with a 2-0 lead, opportunity to pick up some insurance runs here in the 7th. Will Venable, the leadoff hitter, comes up.
He could lay a bunt down right here. Try to move him with that.
And he did square and take strike 1. Kennedy, 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Cole went 6 innings, 2 runs earned, 10 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. A slight edge, USC over UCLA on the mound. And strike 2 as Venable fouls that one away. You have to think now with 2 strikes on him that they'll swipe away the bunt sign, let him swing. A double in 3 trips, grounded into a double play the last time.
Now you got a battle with 2 strikes.
Popped it up. Catcher Martin. One away.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Boy, you're putting the pressure on Mark Grant the way you're going through that disclaimer. You know, that's his
hey, he puts
strength.
a lot of pressure on me. He delivers.
Chris Denorfia has grounded out twice, singled and scored the 2nd run for the Padres after he stole 2nd with 2 outs and came home on Alonso's base hit in the 5th inning. And he did not go around.
Well, they're checking that swing because his back leg broke down and his bat ended up going through because of his body. Why not try to check it?
Guzman at 2nd with a leadoff double, 1 out. That's in there. Gabby Sanchez, the first baseman, as he has throughout the game, with Denorfia at the plate, well off the line at first base. We've seen Chris hit a lot of balls up that first base side.
Yeah, you could see the first baseman getting over there when you go towards second base.
Guzman goes, and he has it stolen easily. Heads up, Guzman, as Wilson was not minding the man at 2nd, and he pilfers 3rd easily. Now a out can score a 3rd run.
Now, sometimes if you're not a base stealer, why not? They're not going to show that they're going to look for you. Time them up, and you take off. That base is stolen on Wilson. Nice job, Guzzi.
3rd stolen base of the year. Now the infield draws in. Infield tied hitter's delight for Chris Denorfia, and a 2-1 pitch coming up. Popped him up. Shallow in center. McCutcheon has a good arm, and that's way too shallow for Guzman to try to score. So the Padres unable to get a run home on an out. Here's Alonso. He's produced both runs today with a sacrifice fly and an RBI single, raising his total to 44 runs batted in, and that finally moves him into a tie for the club lead with Carlos Quinton.
I thought one of Yonder Alonso's best at bats of the year was a walk. And why do you say that? Well, it was against Aroldis Chapman for the Cincinnati Reds right before Chris Denorfia hit the home run. A left-hander that is, you can say, very uncomfortable to face, and Yonder Alonso slowed everything down. Took a great at bat, got himself in a position for a big walk. One of the biggest wins for the Padres all year.
So Brian Morris, the right-hander, warming up in the Pittsburgh bullpen. But they'll stay left-hander against left-hander. Alonso has shown in his 2 years with the Padres that he's not intimidated by southpaw pitching. He hits lefties as well as righties.
I think that's the reason why he has earned the bats every single night. Both corner guys from first and at third base with Chase Headley that play every day, and they compete no matter who's on the mound. Luxury for Bud Black. Sorry.
39 doubles last year for Yonder Alonso. Not so many this year. Takes inside. There again. Example of how the Pittsburgh pitchers throughout the series have pitched inside.
Well, and that's impressive because you have to have the staff to be able to execute that as well. And Pittsburgh has been impressive because they do. They like to throw inside and they try to execute. See from our Southlands technology, they are pounding Yonder Alonso inside. Right in here. See him right on the edge?
That last one actually off the plate, but Alonso unhappy with himself for going after it. It's 1-2. Guzman at third, 2 out. Big run, 90 feet away from making it 3-0. Stays alive. The attendance announced on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon for baseball, 19,126. The Cubs are coming. Off day tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Grocery bag night on Friday. The Padre Cap night Saturday, and of course the military Sunday. Lays off the breaking ball.
He laid off that breaking ball. He slowed his arm up. It's a power left-hander that has a little bit of cutting action on his fastball. Upwards of 99 miles an hour from the left side.
Ground ball to the first baseman, Sanchez. He takes it to the bag. And the inning over. Guzman's leadoff double doesn't produce a run. We go to the 8th. A 4-hit shutout through 7 innings. Kennedy matching his season high with 8 strikeouts. Yonder Alonso brought home Will Venable, who had doubled and made it to third on a ground out for the first run of the game. That was in the third, 1-0, and Alonso delivered the other RBI. A single in the 5th inning that chased home Denorfia, who had singled and stole second, made a beautiful slide at home plate. Those are the 2 runs, and Kennedy shut out pitching through 7 innings, and there are the totals. Garrett Cole, the rookie right-hander from UCLA, pitched well, scattered 10 hits in his 6 innings, but the Padres lead 2-0 as we go to the top of the 8th inning, and Nick Vincent comes in, relief of Ian Kennedy. Oh, excuse me now. Luke Gregerson jumped up in the bullpen in this last half inning, and he'll take over in the top of the 8th, facing the top of the order. Oh, the big news has just come in. Headline news comes in from Del Mar in the eighth race today. Maiden race. First time a starter wins the race coming from way back, last all the way, and wins. Oh my Enberg wins the 8th race.
Love it.
Man, I wish I could race like that.
That is outstanding. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's friends of mine just having some fun. Named a filly after me. They had another. They wanted to name it Oh My after my first name, but the Jockey Club didn't quite go for that. So Oh My Enberg it was.
I wonder why not.
So Felix, PA. That made my day, though. That's nice. Now a win by the Padres. That's
perfect day.
That'd be a double-double. PA struck out the last 2 times, facing Kennedy. There's a strike, 1-1.
You can see Luke Gregerson. He has gone to that sinker a little bit more. Not predominant slider guy now. He's also gone with the changeup that's been very impressive.
Foul back, and 1-2 to PA with Walker and McCutchen to follow. Andrew McCutchen has half the hit total for the Pirates today.
Like so many times this league adjusts to you, and Luke Gregerson getting away with 1 pitch for so long. As we take a look at a beautiful day in San Diego.
What a sky.
But going to that fastball, going to that changeup, now it's on that scouting report. They're still going to try to sit on that slider.
Tries to bring that outside in, the slider, and just missed.
And when it comes down to it, you know Luke's going to go to that slider. That's his number 1.
And fouled at the plate. That got either Rivero or plate umpire Muchlinski. A 2-0 lead for the Padres, trying to salvage the 3rd game of this series. Enjoy the day off tomorrow before the Cubs come in Friday night. Looking for win number 57 on the season. Trying to escape the bottom spot in the National League West, as the Giants have already lost. They were knocked out 12-1 by Boston today. Outside. It's a fastball. So Gregerson now 3-2 to the leadoff man. PA out in front of that one, drives it deep, home run depth, way up into the 2nd tier. But foul. Good to see so many youngsters out here this afternoon.
I love that. It's a great atmosphere at Petco Park. Beautiful ballpark. Sit on the lawn. Always good to see the youth.
That's what he didn't want to do. Walk the leadoff man and bring the tying run to the plate. Well, we invite you to be here on Sunday. That'll conclude this homestand of Military Sunday against the Cubs. U.S. Air Force Appreciation Day presented by USAA. Special pregame ceremony as always, honoring the men and women who serve in the U.S. Air Force before the Padres play the Cubs, a 1:10 game. Get your tickets early and save at Padres.com. or call 619-795-5555. Neil Walker is grounded out twice and fly to right. Homered last night. Aaron Balsley on the horn, bullpen.
Perfect time for a 2-ball.
Two 2-0. Changeup. Houston streak. Hoping Gregerson can earn the hold here in the 8th, and he'll come in after another save in the 9th. 23 so far this year for Streak. to the leadoff man PA, and Walker sitting on a 2-0 pitch in the top of the 8th. Some concern by Bud Black and his pitching coach. Walker fouls it away. He was looking for a tie on that swing.
Well, Dick, so many things go into a decision making for a manager. Colt Hines, the left-handed specialist, out of the bullpen, struggled last night. And now you have to come up with who's going to be the best matchup when you get into the middle of the order. These are dangerous hitters, as we've talked about.
Scuffling with his control.
Well, if you lose confidence in your pitch, the slider, looks like he's going to his secondary pitches, which is the fastball and changeup. He's getting into hitter counts.
And the big Bombers are behind Walker, McCutchen, and Alvarez. Ground ball to second, not hit very hard, so only one play for Jerko. He gets Walker 4-3. Well, they got Walker on a 3-1 pitch to try to go out and yank it, and he rolled an easy out. Here's McCutchen, 2 for 2 and a walk.
Well, Rene Rivera goes out and has a discussion with Luke Gregerson and how they're going to attack McCutchen.
A productive series for the All-Star center fielder. 2 hits on Friday and a walk. A big 2-run triple last night, and 2 hits and a walk today. 3 for 9 against Luke.
McCutchen has a certain calmness in the batter's box. It's very impressive, but he's also shown he'll get out of the strike zone.
Gets away from Rivera. PA to third. Should be a pass ball.
Yeah, you got to catch that ball. Big part of the game. Very important runs, even though it's not going to tie the game. Now he has to elevate his pitches a little bit more with a guy on third base.
And he falls behind McCutchen. He's been behind all 3 hitters. Center field, Amarista. That's deep enough. PA tags, and he comes home with the first Pirate run. It's 2-1. So the walk pays off, the leadoff walk for the Pirates. 2 out now, and Alvarez steps up. Quite a day for McCutchen. Officially 2 for 2 with 2 singles, a walk, and a sacrifice fly. Fragile lead, 2-1, as Alvarez steps up with a power of 31 home runs. He's walked and grounded sharply to second and struck out. One of his 3 hits in the series, a home run.
You can see the shift again. With that changeup, good action on that. Here's the shift, 3 guys on the right side. Chase Headley playing a shortstop.
He has him out in front of another changeup.
So many options that you have with 2 strikes. You can still work off the outer edge of the plate.
Gets him swinging. 3 off-speed pitches. Change. The Bucks get a run, but the Padres lead by 1. Mossy Toyota. Thousands of vehicles, one trusted name. Mossy.com. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. Padres, bottom of the 8th inning, leading now 2-1. A frightening moment in the Atlanta game today. Jason Hayward up, and he's hit in the face with a fastball. Partly in the helmet, but Nisa's left-handed fastball caught him in the face, and we understand it has broken his jaw. They took him into the hospital, and he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, man. You never want to see that. Freddie Gonzalez's team has been playing so well. Jason Hayward done an outstanding job on both sides of the ball.
Here in San Diego, the Padres lead has been shaved to a one run as Brian Morris comes in. 42nd game. A lot of wins and losses for a relief pitcher. Chad Jerko leads it off. Sees a breaking ball strike.
And you can see a lot of cutters and sliders out of Brian Morris's hands.
Jerko 0 for 3, a ground out, 2 flyouts. Jerko, then Headley and Amarista for the Padres. Bucks getting a run without a hit. Top half of this inning. Ooh, shattered bat rolled softly. Alvarez off third to throw him out. That'll bring up Chase Headley. Another tough day for Headley. 2 more strikeouts.
The Padres have to try to add on in this situation, especially with that lead cut in half.
Couple of hops out to Walker, and there's 2 gone.
Remember, everyone, Padres Live, the post-game show, coming up right after the game. You'll hear sound from Buddy Black on Ian Kennedy's day. Mike Pomeranz, Mark Loretta right after. Those are busy guys. Boy. Taking it all in.
Yeah, and the shank of the cocktail hour out there. Amarista, 2 for 3. Little sarsaparilla been flowing out there for a minute.
Not? Right after the post-game show.
Talk about some cowboy moves. Amarista and Alonso 2 hits, and Forsythe leading the way, a 3 for 3 afternoon. 3 singles. He's on deck. Well, that's the one you want to swing at on strike 3. 1 and 2. Well, it's great to have the folks from the San Diego Armed Services YMCA with us today, part of the 19,126. Two and 2. Out on the farm, Matt Whistler at San Antonio, another outstanding game last night. He's 8-4 with a 2.78 ERA. San Antonio beating Frisco 3-1. They're a win away from the playoffs. High fly ball, right field, shallow toward the line as Jones capture the final out. We go to the 9th. It'll be Martin, Jones, and Sanchez for the Pirates, and here comes Houston Street. It's a great job as always as we go to the 9th inning. And Houston Street trying to seal the deal here as the Padres look for their 3rd win on this homestand against 4 losses. And Street has been outstanding of late. Got a win, his first win of the year in his last outing on Sunday against the Mets.
Well, he has been outstanding, and it's all about that new and improved slider that he has. He has confidence in that slider. He lacked that in the first half, but he looks like the old Houston Street we're used to. He's done a nice job in save situations. He's got to come up big here.
Russell Martin will start things. He has walked and struck out, grounded to 3rd. Then Garrett Jones and Gabby Sanchez. Fastball at 90 upstairs, ball one.
You can see Chase Headley over here at third base. He understands that Russell Martin will lay down a bunt. Played in the Dodgers organization, so Chase has played against Russell plenty of times.
Like he got squeezed on that first pitch. And he makes amends, does Muchlinski.
Yeah, Russell Martin will take a peek back at the home plate umpire on that pitch, especially when that first one's not called.
Maybe a makeup call by Muchlinski. It works out 1-1. Swing and a miss. There's that slider, and look where it was placed.
Yeah, beautiful location. Luke Gregerson had a conversation with Houston Street about that slider. That location down and away.
Wouldn't bite. 2-2.
Anytime you face a closer late in the game, they command that outside part of the plate. They don't want to get hurt by the big fly. That's what happened to Houston Street earlier in the season. Now his location is much better. Pitching right on the edges, if not off the plate.
Struck him out. Martin goes down swinging. One away here in the top of the ninth.
That'll frustrate a lot of hitters. The well-located slider comes out of the hands like a fastball, and it darts on that outside edge down out of the strike zone. Nice start to the inning by Houston Street.
That's the 10th Pirate to strike out today. Kennedy got 8 of the Bucks to go. Garrett Jones has struck out twice and grounded to first. Starts him with a fastball.
So he's going to the changeup.
And now ahead 2 strikes on Jones.
A nice pitch. Working off that first pitch fastball.
Changeup floats outside. 1-2. Pirates take off after the game for San Francisco. They play 4 up north starting tomorrow. Gabby Sanchez on deck. 1 out, top of the 9th. Street trying to seal the deal. 2-2.
Goes to that changeup off the plate right here.
Got him swinging. Changeup gets the job done as Martin and Jones have struck out. 2 gone now in the ninth. And our Carl's Jr. star of the game, starter Ian Kennedy. 7 shutout innings, only 4 hits. Struck out 8 and walked 3. Allowed only 2 hits after the first inning. Great job.
Brilliant performance today by Ian Kennedy. Spotting his fastball, great changeup, and had that breaking ball late. 3+ pitches. Brilliant performance by Ian Kennedy.
Gabby Sanchez stays in the way of a Padre victory as he steps in. He is singled to right field his last time, robbed of a double by Chase Headley early in the game when Headley made a dive to the line and speared his one-hopper, a hot shot, and threw him out.
Yeah, the key play of the game, in my estimation.
That's not in there. The plate umpire Muchlinski going for the ball, a new ball. The reaction almost as if he was going to pump that right hand in a strike, but no, it's 2-0. Pockets were empty. He needed more agates, more eggs. Well, I can't wave the gonf line yet. High fly ball. When it comes down, Amarista will seal the win. It's 2-1. A 2-1 victory with Kennedy, Gregerson, and Street saving it. Mike Pomerantz, a good win.
Yes, sir. We've got a good postgame show for you as well. We'll talk about Ian Kennedy's special day, getting it done. You'll hear from Buddy Black. We'll also break down Yonder Alonso, providing the offense necessary to take this one, and a breakdown of how to hit in certain situations.